Today we're going to talk about the NAIA. If you haven't heard of them, they're an alternative athletic association for smaller schools and universities, and they have an outstanding financial model for athletics called ROA, Return on Athletics. And I'm going to explain to you one of the most interesting innovations or characteristics about the No Backboard Basketball League, the face-off. All that and more on the No Backboard Basketball Show.
That we get back to talking about this community, because I think that's one way, and that I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, it may be the tagline you use there. If you change the game, change the community.
I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker. I'm the game changer, the mover, the shaker. With every basket, I'm a community maker.
Great question. So the No Backboard Basketball League, the vision of it is a new recreational basketball platform to provide opportunities for Black and brown individuals to actually own wealth creating assets in the sports space. Welcome to the No Backboard Basketball League. I'm your host, Mark Tee Armstrong, inventor of Basketball Remix, the modern interpretation of the original game, and founder of the No Backboard Basketball League. The No Backboard Basketball League is envisioned as an alternative basketball development platform, basketball recreational platform, and basketball entertainment platform to make a positive impact on basketball culture here in the United States. Want to learn more about my why behind the No Backboard Basketball League? A book on Amazon, No Backboard Basketball, Remixing Basketball as a Catalyst of Change. You can find that on Amazon. And also join the No Backboard Basketball community. I guarantee you join and support the mission. It will be a benefit to you and your family in the future. And finally, support the effort. Go to nobackboard.store. That's nobackboard.store, and pick up some merch. Download some No Backboard basketball music and be one of the first in your area, rocking some of our gear, listening to some of our music, and supporting the effort. Or you can simply buy me a cup of coffee or an adult beverage, and those links are in the description. All right, great. Today, first we're diving into some research I did last year on the NAIA. And I captured this in an article on my Substack entitled Breaking the Wheel of College Sports, Insight and Opportunities from the NAIA. So the NAIA is a collegiate sports association similar to the NCAA. Right, so the NCAA has Division I, Division II, Division III. Then there's also the NAIA schools that offer that offer sports programs, or an association for smaller independent colleges and universities across the United States. So as we all know, college sports is going through a massive change. You have everything from the transfer portal, conference realignment, and especially the advent with NIL. And now when you add on top of that, what's unfolding with the NCAA versus House ruling, we have the complete professionalization of college sports. And I've spoke on how I feel that's going to segment the college sports section. So all this disruption is creating new opportunities for innovation, innovative sports leagues and models like the No Backboard Basketball League. Think about the college football expansion or a new platform like Overtime Elite. And then when you add AI, blockchain, Web3, we're really on the cusp of an entire new era in sports business. I think over the past 3 or 4 years, at least over $100 billion has been invested in sports itself. And I believe it was in 2002 that Deloitte classified sports as its own assets class. So you've seen a lot of private equity come into the space over the past couple of years. a lot of M&A activity. So what's at stake, right? What's at stake here is the NCAA's long-held monopoly over a lucrative pool of 18 to 20-year-old athletes, right? Generating annually billions of dollars. And when you really take a look at it, it's really teenagers and young adults who historically driving the bulk of the sports business, because at the end of the day, on the masses, sports is really a young person, a teenager, young adult sport. So now we're seeing new models, right? We're going to be seeing new models challenging the status quo, and I think especially in basketball. So what I want to do is I want to take a look at how the NAIA has navigated college sports up to this point, because I'm really impressed with their approach to financial responsibility, financial accountability, and really managing, reverse engineering the way they manage sports with the economics in mind, but efficient management of economics in mind, and then reverse engineering on how they manage their sports. All right, so the NAIA is not just another collegiate sports association, right? It's really, when you look at it, it's a beacon for financial strategy in athletics. They have an approach they call return on athletics approach, ROA. Now, they actually have that trademark, return on athletics. And it's showing colleges how to turn the sports programs into financial assets instead of liabilities. So when we break it down, what's the NAIA all about? Right, so the NAIA consists of 250 schools across 21 conferences. They host 28 championships, showcasing a pretty broad spectrum of sports. And they service over 85,000 student athlete participants. And over the past few years, they've been distributing a little over $1 billion in scholarships. So let that sink in, right? You have a small athletic association, 250 schools, 21 conferences, 85,000 student athletes participating, and they distribute over $1 billion in financial support to these young athletes. The financial strategy, it's all about diversification and efficiency, right? So their revenue streams are from their membership fees, event revenues, sponsorships, and partnerships. They focus on cost-effective sports and streamlined management, and they invest in sports with high growth potential, right? So again, it's that reverse engineering. They're taking a look at what's taking place in the sports field, where are the best growth opportunities, and then that's where they're investing their dollars and developing their programs. And that's interesting because we're about to see something I found very interesting about the NAIA and their relationship with basketball. So when it comes to basketball, the NAIA's approach is particularly insightful because they tapped into the growth of women's basketball, as we all know, which is one of the fastest growing segments in sports. If we delve deeper into why the NAIA is placing such a significant emphasis on women's basketball, we see it's not just about inclusivity, it's really calculated and based on several key principles, right? So the first principle is market growth. And we know women's basketball is one of the fastest growing segments in the sport. The NAIA has recognized this trend and they capitalized on it early, which allowed them to secure a foothold in this growth. And what's interesting about the NAIA with this whole market growth is I believe it's 299 schools, 299 basketball programs, only approximately 30, I should have the numbers in, only approximately 30 are men's programs, right? So you have this athletic association distributing over $1 billion in benefits, 85,000 student athletes, almost 300 teams, and a fraction of those teams are 300 basketball teams. Only a fraction of those teams are men's basketball. And this is because, right, they're really locked in on the financial return. The data shows that women's basketball teams in the NAIA generate about almost 4% of their total revenue. When we think about this, this isn't just about filling seats. They are leveraging sponsorships and media rights and merchandise sales in a lucrative women's sports space. Again, when you think about what was taking place at the highest levels over the past couple of years with women's sports, particularly basketball, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the attention that women's college basketball still has. Now you have your Paige Buckner, Juju. You have Juju over at USC. They're keeping that momentum going at the women's games at the college level, and we all know how Caitlin Clark impacted the WNBA. Another principle they leverage is diversity of revenue streams. So by investing in women's basketball, they also is not just diversity in the sports portfolio, but also the income sources. So they tapped into the growth and the momentum in women's sports early, which allowed them to attract different sponsors and broaden their appeal in the sports entertainment market. So the NAIA, again, through reverse engineering, identified the market trends, got ahead of those market trends, and that's where they've invested their athletic dollars over the past few years. Now, for the NAIA, it's all about building legacy. Well, at least that's what they say. They say for them, it's about building a legacy of inclusive in sports, which resonates with educational institution missions and attracts more schools to the NAIA fold. And lastly, they're all about efficiency and sustainability, right? So by focusing on women's basketball, which can be run cost effective and still yield high returns, the NAIA ensures they're not spreading the resources thin. If I recall correctly, the NAIA doesn't do football. Football is extremely expensive. So they don't even do football, which again, if your motto is financial efficiency and sustainability and your small schools, football is not a sport that you have. I went to a small university, Loyola Marymount University in Westchester, California, which is next to LAX. We didn't have a football team at all. School's too small. But yet in this smaller space, they're still focused on growth. So here's how it breaks down, right? So here we go. I got the numbers here. So total schools in basketball in the NAIA is 250. Total basketball teams are 299, with men's at only 64 and women at 235. The average revenue generated per student is roughly $10,500. Stop. Think about that. That's how efficient their ROA model is. And what they're looking to understand is, or drive towards, is every athlete at the end of the day is a positive asset, meaning they are able to attribute down to the athlete their impact on revenue, and that's how they justify their model. So again, the average revenue per athlete for NAIA basketball or NAIA in general is $10,500. So their basketball revenue was $34,534,500, with the overall revenues of $929 million. And I believe that is for 2022 or 23. The NAIA model is a blueprint for sports education organizations. With a market opportunity of $20 billion out there, they're providing they're showing that smaller entities actually can punch up above their weight by emphasizing financial acumen, education, and athletic development. Here's where I think the schools that are not going to be able to fly with the schools that are going to start paying athletes as a result of the NCAA house, and we see a little transformation of how NIL is going to be implemented with schools. I think the NAIA and their approach will begin to trickle up as a model for smaller NCAA schools or NCAA conferences to start looking at how they manage themselves. Or we may even see a migration in 5 or 10 years of many of those Division 2 and Division 3 schools migrating over to an NIA model and adopting this financial responsibility, efficient and sustainability model for the athletic programs. So here's how the No Backboard Basketball League fits in to this discussion. So if you imagine we build 100 No Backboard Basketball training gyms across the United States and create the alternative development platform we're speaking of, applying the NAIA model, even with a 5x net in revenue per athlete, we're looking at $78 million annually. I personally think we can 10x, 15x basketball revenues that the NIA is experiencing simply through our ability to really, because of our novelty, our uniqueness, first mover, and with the internet now, immediately we can tap into a global audience. I believe per athlete, we can 15x the value of the NIA athletes. So the NIA strategy shows how to blend the financial management and the education with the athletic goals. It's a model that could be redefined on how, it actually could redefine how we view sports, particularly in basketball. In educational settings, this is what we're aiming at with the No Backboard Basketball League, right? To harness these disruptions for positive change, create new economic opportunities, while developing and fostering a new generation of American basketball players that can reclaim market share on college rosters and market share on NBA rosters, and reestablish American basketball as the best basketball in the world. Now, you can check out the article on my Substack, Mark Tee Substack, and you can read the full article there.
Tired of the three-point obsession, the commercialization of youth basketball, and a game where skill development takes a backseat? Introducing No Backboard Basketball, remixing basketball as a catalyst for change. This isn't just a book, it's a movement. Rediscover basketball's roots, where the focus is on community, creativity, and real opportunities for Black and brown youth. No more barriers for families without deep pockets. Get your copy on Amazon now and join the revolution that's changing the game and changing lives.
One of the most obvious characteristics of No Backboard Basketball is we play without a backboard. Sometimes athletes would notice that we also play with a smaller 16-inch hoop instead of the larger 18-inch hoop that you find in traditional basketball. However, our No Backboard Basketball sport introduces over 15 different innovations to the sport of basketball. One of these innovations is what we call the face-off. Yes, you should be thinking about hockey, but with a twist. Now, here's me providing an on-court explanation of what the face-off is. One of the most unique things about the No Backboard Basketball is how we start the game. We start the game off with what we call a face-off. So think basketball tip-off, hockey face-off, a merger of the two. So instead of the two opponents and the official throwing the ball in the air, what we do is we take the ball and the official slams the ball off the ground in between the two opponents, And then when the ball is live when it goes over the top of the head. Now, what's unique about the face-off in No Backboard Basketball League is the jumpers or the face-off participants can either tip it like in traditional basketball, or they can take it and advance the ball themselves. We think this adds a very unique characteristic to the game and a new dynamic. In today's game, there are plenty of bigs that can take the defensive rebound off the backboard, take the ball full court, and then make the right decision at the end of the play. An extreme example of a modern athlete leveraging the face-off would be your Giannis, maybe your Anthony Davis, definitely your Victor Wembanyama. Imagine them participating in the face-off, but instead of tipping the ball, they actually secure it in the rebound. They push the ball, finish with a dunk. Be pretty cool. Or what about a smaller athlete with extreme hops and a good jump shot? Imagine them participating in the face-off, going up, snatching that, bringing it down, advancing it, a couple of quick dribbles, and then pulling up to nail a long-range jumper. So to me, that's exciting, and it provides a really cool twist to the sport by tapping into the improved athleticism and skill set that we have in athletes today in general. It's innovations like the UHoop, the face-off, and our other 15 innovations that lets me know that we just haven't created a new game that's going to impact skill development, but I believe we're building a platform that's going to have a positive impact on basketball culture overall in the United States. And that's the goal. Hey, thank you for making it to the end of the show. Appreciate you. Remember, join our community, nobackboard.com. And until then, I'll see you at the top. Be blessed. Hey, what's happening? It's Mark Tee down at the Front Center again. And I am with Mr. Trick. You can find him on Instagram at Common Knowledge 7. That's common_knowledge, the number 7. Common_knowledge, number 7. First impressions.
Oh man, just the idea when you hear, no backboards, it just makes you think like, yo, what's the game gonna be like? So just hearing about it, it was kind of like, it sparked my interest. I was like, what is it gonna feel like?
Right.
Actually getting out here and playing, man, that's a whole other game, man. It gives you so many different other things to think about when it comes to the game and how to train and how to handle the game.
You made some comments about without the backboard being there really opens things up for bigs. Can you elaborate on that some?
Yeah, definitely. Without the backboards there, it kind of, when you're on the baseline, you usually don't think to go towards the baseline. Right. You usually don't think to go towards the inside. So, being without no backboards and you get under there and you can actually got space to go back the opposite way, it like, you can fake and then go back in. And it really not only helps for the power right-hand players, but people who want to go left, it opens all those options up. So it's like you don't leave nothing, no option left unnoticed. Like you got options, hook shot, pump fake. You can go either way. Like it's fun, it's exciting for a big.
I like that. And you were having fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Go backboard.
Yeah, man. I'd love to see what it's like in league format, getting actually to play some real games with smaller rims, no backboards. I think a lot of people find an advantage to their game, expand their game, be able to do so much more with this. So yeah, definitely, I look forward to it.
That's what's up. Appreciate the love. Thanks for coming out. All right, so remember, you can find Trip at common_knowledge 7 at IG. Be blessed.